All right, guys, welcome to my Monday morning rant for Monday, the 21st of December. It's fucking Christmas soon. I've never been a huge Christmas guy, and I'm still not a huge Christmas guy. But I've got a couple of Christmas themed shoots that I did last week with Abby and Viv, and I'm most likely going to get banned off Instagram this Christmas when I post some of these pictures. And if I do get banned, I don't care. Maybe that would be a sign for me to get off Instagram for a bit. Who knows? Um, I have been doing nothing much more than playing Cyberpunk 2077 on PC for the last week. It's been out for a week or a little over a week, and I've put about 50 hours in, I think, or 55 hours into it. Um, I'm pretty sure the main campaign is about 20 hours long, but it's an RPG, so I have put a lot of hours into the side quests and um, just tried to get the most out of it. I did do a video about it last week, a review in progress, and at that stage, I really wasn't too impressed with a whole lot that the game had to offer, or lack of things that it had to offer. Um, but since then, I have finished the game, and um, I got one of five. I think there's five endings, or maybe there's another secret ending, or maybe there's four endings and one secret ending. The ending that I got, no spoilers. The ending that I got was so sad that all that stuff that I was talking about in the last video about the game not having any consequences, I was wrong. And I realized that when I got that ending, I felt like it fucking hit me in the feels. I thought about it all afternoon, all night, and I even thought about it some more the next day when I got up. And that's a sign of a good game. That's a sign of a good book or a good film. When you sort of sit there and just shit just goes through your head about the concepts. And I have become a fan of this game. Yeah, there's a lot wrong with it, on a technical point of view as well as a role playing point of view. It's not as deep a role playing game as I wished it was, but I think CD Projekt Red, the developers, have got their signature all over how the game wrapped up and how it ended. Um, just like The Witcher 3, when that ended, I realized all the things that I did within the game um, led to the ending that I got in that game, and I really loved my ending in The Witcher 3. But yeah, in Cyberpunk, it just left me feeling pretty empty and sad that I couldn't um, go back and play the game anymore in many ways, because I just felt so fucked up that I didn't want to play it anymore. Um, and yes, I have a previous save point, and I could go back and try to find a happier ending, but I don't think that's right. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to go back in there and correct my wrongs, um, just so that I could sleep better at night. I'd rather just deal with it. So, yeah, I definitely think the side missions in the game were crucial to the ending that I got. And for a lot of people who aren't huge RPG fans out there, I know that side missions in most games are fodder. Most of the time, side missions are fetch quests, and they, like, go here, pick this up, come back here, and that's it. And a lot of the time, side quests in games are used just to level up. But in Cyberpunk, the side quests, some of the side quests with the main characters are really crucial, and um, I definitely found more beautiful moments in some of the side quests than in the main missions. So if you guys are going to be playing it over Christmas and over the break, make sure you don't skip those side quests. Um, I wanted to do the rant this morning about Cyberpunk because it's pretty much all I've been doing and all I've been thinking. I know it should be probably on Geeked Out, the game channel that I have with Hawk, but I want to relate it back to just my career as a graphic designer and how I've always felt. Like I think that's the overall dramas that are going on with this game. And there are a lot of dramas, man. Like every single day there's a new video about Cyberpunk. And this morning there was a video on CD Projekt Red, the games developer, being sued by their investors. And they're being sued because uh they have been deceitful about the progress of the game and the state of the game to the investors. And they've released something which is obviously a cash grab in the end of the day. They've they they're in really big trouble, and it is all on the management team and not the developers. And that really hurts to hear that, because as a graphic designer, you're, as big as your ego is, you always think that, oh fuck, I'm a graphic designer. I can wear what I want to work, and I'm so cool, and I get to do cool shit and get paid for it. I've always felt that graphic designers are at the very bottom of the rung. We're not at the top. We get told what to do, and so many times in my career, I've created something good for only for it to just get absolutely fucking destroyed and trashed by corporates, and the end product looking absolutely shit. And then I walk away feeling like I've just been taken for a ride, because ultimately that's what you are as a graphic designer. You have people that just say yes or no, and you're not the boss. You're far from it. So I kind of wanted to relate what's going on with Cyberpunk to experiences that I've had as a designer working in corporate. And just how sad I am about the whole situation. So just to recap, right? Like these guys sold 8 million pre-orders, and they broke a lot of sales records, and it was all sounding really good at that stage. I was one of the 8 million people that pre-ordered this game, and I've also been really psyched about it. Like I think I posted a Cyberpunk feature on the Zen Garage blog in 2013. So I've been pretty psyched about it for a long time. And I saw all the hype. And the more hype that I saw, the more nervous that I got, because I'm pretty judgmental when it comes to game footage. And all the game footage I've seen of this game has been pretty shit, in my opinion. It's far from realistic. And it just looked like Grand Theft Auto to me, but set in the future. And I was really hoping for something super next gen, and from what I had seen, it wasn't. And from after playing it as well, it's still not next gen. If you're gonna bring Keanu Reeves into it and hype it up that much, I was hoping for a game that even a non-gamer could totally be immersed in. But end of the day, it's just another RPG, and I'm not complaining about that. I like it that it's a gamer's game, but I think they could have put in a lot more cinematic qualities that maybe would have helped in the RPG development, RPG division, and also just get more people that aren't gamers playing it. And I don't know. I think it was just a sadly missed opportunity there. Um, the initial reviewers of this game were only allowed to review the game on PC, which really should have brought up some red flags straight off the bat, right? Like why are all these channels that focus on consoles like Xbox and PlayStation, why weren't they allowed to play this game and review it on just before launch? But only PC, and the reviews came out and they were either overwhelmingly positive, lots of 90s, lots of nines and 90s, and every single review that I did watch suggested that it was a buggy mess. But the game was so good that even with all the bugs and glitches, they were giving it nines. So that's what ended up going out there, and everything was as intended. Obviously, from City Project Red's point of view, they would have been happy with that. But then the 8 million copies were sold, so those reviews would have pushed people to buy the game. Obviously, right? People were thinking, okay, well, there's bugs and glitches, but hey, what game has come out? What big game has come out on PC that didn't have bugs, right? So everyone's put their money down, and then the shit hit the fan. Like, they released the console versions, and you got to remember that when they developed this game 8 years ago, that was PlayStation 3, I think. But I mean, they definitely guaranteed that this game was going to play on the old gen consoles, being PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So the game comes out on console, and it turns out that the game is running really badly on old gen stuff. I mean, my opinion on it is, it's the old gen consoles are so fucking old that, like, the game should never have come out on the old consoles anyway. They should have just either not released it on the old gen shit, um, or delayed the fuck out of it until they got it working. But as it is, from the footage that I've seen, some people are having such a bad problem in the game. It's nowhere near as beautiful as it is on PC. There's a lack of detail. There's huge bugs, massive loading times. It's just a mess. And ultimately, what's happened is that the entire community, or gaming community at least, has recognized that this is deceitful practice. For them to obviously know how bad the game plays on older gen consoles, but then because it played so badly on consoles, they decided to make the review process PC only and let the good reviews roll out, and then release the mess that is the console version of it. So this is all deceit and manipulation on behalf of the management of CD Projekt Red. Um, that is savagely sad, because the game has been 8 years in development, right? 8 years, and yeah, it was delayed 3 times this year. The launch was delayed 3 times, and the internet started to make a huge fuss about that. But at that point, I was like, well, fuck, if it's not ready, it's not ready, right? Like, you release it when it's ready. And it's obvious that the management and shareholders, whatever, all this corporate political bullshit, it's obvious that they felt huge pressure to release this. And in the end, they released it unfinished. And it's really come down hard on them. I mean, you got to wonder whether it's worthwhile or not. Like, I actually wonder, how the fuck does management get it so wrong? Like, you're not talking about a small company here. You're talking about a company that's big enough to surely hire the right people to do the right job. And so it just blows my mind that this has happened in the first place. So, you know, City Project Red sent out an apology letter, and even that wasn't great. Like, if you're going to release an apology letter, the internet is savage. Like, the internet's going to go through this letter with a fine-tooth comb and pick it apart, right? Which is what people have done. I mean, yes, the devs are sorry, and they were offering refunds, but they also suggested that get your fucking refunds in before Christmas, because we're going to be on holidays. And it's like, no, like people would be buying this for people for Christmas. And yeah, they fucked up there, and like a shit ton of people did try to refund the game. But the problem there is that you're buying the game from all sorts of third parties that were saying stuff like, well, even the PlayStation Store, right? We're like, well, if you've downloaded it and played it, then their policies are like, well, if you downloaded it for this many hours, you've played it for this many hours, well, then our policy says that you can't refund the game. So there was confusion there, and a whole lot of people weren't getting instant refunds despite the developer saying that they're offering refunds. So again, management, where were you? Because that created more of a mess, right? And last week as well, soon after this apology letter, Sony's official PlayStation online store decided to offer full refunds to everyone that bought the game on console. And they also took the game off the shop. Apparently, that's unprecedented. Like, apparently, no other game has ever been on the shop at launch and then taken off. So this is history, like in many ways, with the 8 million sold and the game being taken off the PlayStation Store on the week of launch. So another thing that I read was that CD Projekt Red's shares plummeted. And from the graphs and reports that I've seen, they've lost $1 billion. A billion. I mean, there goes your $8 million profit, right? There goes your 8 million, whatever the 8 million pre-order copies made, it's gone now. You've lost $1 billion. So, this is a humongous fuck up on management. And ultimately, the point I'm getting at is that as a creative person working in a huge corporate environment, I did always feel like I put blood, sweat, and tears into the shit that I was doing for corporates. And yeah, when the job's over, you don't even get a pat on the back. But the pat on the back for developers who put 8 years, like these creative people that were rocking up every day, and towards the end of it, apparently they were rocking up 6 days a week to meet deadline, right? And these people put everything they have into it. It's a passion project, and it really sucks that they're having to wake up every day and see all of this shit on their feeds, their Twitter, their YouTube and social media. And it's just the amount of hate that this company is getting must feel so shit if you are one of those developers. Like if you were one of those people on a team that have put 8 hours into this, 8 years into this beast of a game, to wake up every day and just see how it's played out, and just how it could have been so much better if you got to finish the game before launch, but how management has fucked you over. Like they've fucked 8 years of your life over, because even people who don't game and people who don't know anything about it, if you go out there and say, yeah, I was one of the people that worked on this game, maybe they've heard that it's like oh, that's that game that came out fucked, right? That's that game that your company is being sued, right? It's like, it just must feel really shit to dedicate so much of your energy and time into something, for it to then come out and to just be far from a celebration. Like it could have been so good for these people, for the company, for everyone, but management has just fucked everything up. And you know it's why I have always been a shit team player. Like last year, I was in a situation where I set up a design company with a couple of friends, and these friends were corporate people. They were business people, and so much of so many issues that I've ever had with anything I've created is that like I'm good at the creation bit. I'm good at putting everything I've got into something, but I'm really shit at making money. I'm fucked at it. And I'm constantly reminded that everything that I do has so much more potential to make more money. But I hate business. And over the years I hate money. And like over the last few years I've tried my best to get over that hate and just like, well, business is business. And I'm started to sort of slowly understand that like, well, maybe compromise isn't so bad, and everyone's got to make money, and I've been blessed, I've been lucky to have money so that I haven't needed to, I don't have any kids to feed, and I mean I do have a mortgage, but it's like it's under control, right? And it's like I I just feel like all the times that I've ever tried to make money off something, the compromise, like I always say, the compromise was with a capital C. It wasn't a compromise with a lowercase c. It was compromise with a capital fucking C. And if anything, I'm anti-business. Like I would rather hand shit out for free. I'd rather make cool shit and hand it out to people that, like, especially with Zen, right? Like I'd rather just awesome people wear it, people that I meet that I like, and then they can go out and wear it, and I'd be happy knowing that they're going out and representing the brand well. But that's not a good business, right? It's not going to make you money, right? It's not even going to make you enough money to make another run of products. I fucking get it. But like with this situation last year, I decided to try my best to leave the business side of things to my two business partners. And I fucking couldn't. I could not just do my creative bit and leave everything to those guys to how to pitch me, how to pitch jobs, how to quote jobs. Um, I just had to fucking get in the way, and I had to jump in there and make it harder for them. And I understand why it all blew up. Like I ended up pulling the plug, but in many ways they were happy that I did, because I must have been fucking impossible to work with. And I'm impossible to work with because I fucking care. And if I was a part owner in CD Project Red and I was a creative there, I would have been the guy that would have been fighting with management, and they would have wanted to release this game unfinished, and I would have fucking died on the hill, died on the cross, rather than let them release this game unfinished. I would have done everything in my power to stop it, because I know that it's more important for me to be proud of what I release rather than compromise something or just give up my power to a suit who's going to decide the outcome for me. So, like I think it's super sad that the actual underlying theme of Cyberpunk 2077 is corporate exploitation. That's the underlying theme. You get that from the very start of the game, and it runs all the way through to the end. And it's pretty ironic, right? Like that I feel like the management at this company has basically exploited creatives, and it's just hilarious that that's what the game's about. I mean, the evil corporation, this is CD Projekt Red were so loved before this game. yeah, they released The Witcher 3 with bugs, but they fixed it and people love that game. But I mean, they didn't hype that game as big as they hyped Cyberpunk, right? So it's a very loved company who have now just lost all their reputation. I mean, just like that, like wasn't necessary, completely unnecessary. And yeah, I don't know. That's my rant for this morning. Like, it's just so sad. Like, I really wanted to enjoy this game more than I have. And I really wanted more people out there to enjoy the game. I wanted CD Projekt to succeed. And, um, whether or not the industry learns from this, probably not. That's another sad thing. It's like, it's such a huge error to make, but it's probably going to happen again and again. And um yeah, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. If you haven't played the game yet and you're looking forward to it, I'm sure you'll find bits in there that you're going to enjoy. I think there is a little bit of overreaction going on. Apparently, some people are playing it on old gen consoles without any issues, or they're enjoying themselves. So this sort of outrage culture that happens on the internet, yeah, totally a factor, right? Like, there's definitely outrage culture going on. It's almost like people are looking for more bad news to post about this game now because it's just good content for their channel or whatever. Um, but yeah, I'm sure they'll sort the game out as they go along. They'll fix the bugs. They did release another patch for it yesterday, and apparently, sadly, the patch has introduced even more problems. I've seen a couple more problems since the patch has been released. I logged in yesterday, and I noticed a few bugs that I didn't have before. and yeah, that's just the way it is, right? Like, it's just a really sad situation. And I wish companies would just become more transparent. Like a few years ago, I decided to run Zen as in the most transparent way that I could. And that's so that I can sleep better at night, right? Like, when I'm doing things openly and honestly, I I get some good shut eye. Like, I feel no anxiety. And I did a video about it. I'm sure when I first started doing podcasts, I did a podcast on the value of being transparent and how important transparency is in business. And it's sad that when I made that video those years ago, I felt like companies were starting to become more transparent in how they ran their businesses. But then this shit happens. So yeah, I think that lesson still needs to be learned. Um, I'm just sad about the ending that I got in the game, and I'm also sad about the state of the game and the state of CD Projekt Red and how they've lost their reputation and how hurtful that must feel for the people who put blood, sweat, and tears into this for over the last 8 years. Like, it's so savage. And yeah, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. It's their problem. But I just hope people see through this and change the way they work in future. You can't rip people off, people. You just cannot rip people off. The internet is going to fucking get you. Have a good Christmas, guys. I'm gonna spend it with family, as I always do. I haven't bought the kids presents. My bad, my bad. I need to run out and do that. Um, I shall catch you guys in the next one. Is it gonna be the New Year's? Is the next one New Year's? Next Monday? I have no idea. I don't even have a fucking calendar. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. See yous.